Today on Who is That Saint? We meet the priest who risked everything to say Mass, and died with forgiveness on his lips. Saint Cristóbal Magallanes and his 24 companions didn't start a war. But they refused to let anyone stop them from preaching Christ. And for that they were hunted, tortured and executed by their own government. They died with rosaries in their hands and Viva Cristo Rey on their tongues. Let's set the scene. Early 20th century Mexico. The government, under President Plutarco Calles, has decided the Catholic Church is a threat. So they pass anti-clerical laws. Public worship is banned. Churches are shuttered. Priests are arrested on sight. Wearing a Roman collar becomes a criminal offense. It's full-on persecution, and it sparks what's known as the Cristero War, 1926 to 1929, a grassroots Catholic uprising against the regime. Into this chaos walks Cristóbal Magallanes, a parish priest born in 1869 in Jalisco, Mexico. He's not a rebel. He's a shepherd, committed to the Eucharist, to his people and to the truth. When seminaries are shut down, he opens an underground seminary in his parish. When Mass is outlawed, he celebrates it in homes, barns and caves. When the bishops suspend public ministry out of caution, Cristóbal keeps going. Not with violence. Not with rebellion. But with quiet, unbreakable faith. And for that the government calls him dangerous. In May 1927, Cristóbal is arrested without trial while on his way to say Mass. The authorities accuse him of inciting rebellion, even though he preached nonviolence his whole life. He spends several days in prison. He prays. He writes letters. He comforts fellow prisoners. And on May 21, 1927, he's marched out and executed by firing squad. His final words? I die innocent and I pardon the authors of my death. I die for God. Long live Christ the King. He wasn't alone. Alongside him, the Church recognizes 24 other martyrs, 22 priests and 3 laymen, executed between 1915 and 1937. Each story is a flame. Father Agustin Caloca was arrested with Cristóbal. He offered his life in place of others. Father José Isabel Flores sang a hymn as he was strangled to death. Father Rodrigo Aguilar was hanged after blessing his executioners and forgiving them. Manuel Morales, a layman and father of 3, refused to renounce Christ, even when promised his freedom. Their stories are united by one cry. Viva Cristo Rey. Long live Christ the King. These weren't extremists. They were priests hearing confessions. Men helping their neighbors. Teachers, catechists, fathers, shepherds. And they were killed by their own government, for being Catholic in public. They weren't armed with weapons. They were armed with rosaries, sacraments, and the gospel. And it was enough to terrify the regime. In 2000, Pope John Paul II canonized all 25 together. He called them martyrs of religious freedom, and reminded the world that persecution isn't ancient history. It's modern and it's still happening. Today Saint Cristóbal Magallanes and companions are patrons of persecuted Christians, priests, religious freedom activists, and anyone forced to practice their faith in secret. Their legacy still echoes in Mexico, where their cry, Viva Cristo Rey, remains a rallying call for Catholic identity. We like to think persecution is a thing of the past, or that it could never happen here. But Saint Cristóbal's life reminds us. When truth is outlawed, it's not time to go quiet. It's time to stand firm. He wasn't looking for martyrdom. He was just trying to do his job, to bring Christ to the people. And for that he died a saint. If your faith ever feels like it puts you at odds with the world, good. You're in good company. Quote of the day. I die innocent and I pardon the authors of my death. I die for God. Long live Christ the King. Saint Cristóbal Magallanes.